Here's the thing. Cuties is pretty much I think it's like is a French movie and it's kind of like it was one of those independent films, but Netflix bought it and then they pretty much distributed it, all that stuff. Um the movie, it has a general message, which honestly,
A few
if you
messages.
yeah, it has a few messages which you can easily you could pretty much see, but the fact that the film also has a couple scenes that it's hard to take on. It's very cringeworthy. The reason why it's cringeworthy because most of the girls, most of the people, most of the actors or actresses in this film are between the ages of 11 and 13. So some of the scenes that is really hard is pretty much for a brief second you see a girl pop out her breast, and pretty much it's you see her breast. When another scene is when they get into a fight, one of the girls end up pretty much pulling down her pants to show her bottoms.
That's right. Yeah.
And there was one after that there was another scene that everybody was like, they was trying to question if she was actually a girl, so they said you need to do something to pretty much put that make people figure it out. And the girl, they didn't show this, but you pretty much could put one and two together, but she was in the bathroom where she pretty much took a picture of her hoo-ha and published it on their social media and all that good stuff. Well, it's not good stuff, but all that stuff. And yeah, they were also dancers. So some of the dances that they were doing, it was very sexual, more so where you see grown women doing pretty much being very seductive and all that kind of stuff, not really understanding what they're doing. And then I think another one that was just really cringeworthy is like when they were doing these dances, some of the poses are where you see camera movements where they were focusing in their crotch area. And like I said, it's between these girls are between the ages of 11 and 13. So it really was very unsettling. And honestly, the movie felt like a movie for pedophiles because the fact that it was just so many stuff on there that it just made you feel uncomfortable to the point where just like I can't even stomach watching this. Like when I was watching it, there was parts where I was like, I want to watch it just because the fact that I want to understand what everybody is getting into, talking about, and all that stuff. But what they're doing is really unsettling. So I had to find something to preoccupy my time just so that scene would pass, just so I could get move on to the next one. So it was very unsettling. Now, pretty much just knowing the idea of this story, there's people been unsubscribing from Netflix, which I can't that was surprising me because I mean honestly a lot of people are using everybody else's Netflix, so that was one thing. But people are unsubscribing from Netflix because the fact that they are saying that this is promoting pedophilia. Also,
Yeah.
I think the cultural references between one of the girls, which we'll talk about that on a later date. Um, then also pretty much the images that will show, was it necessary to show all that to pretty much show the message? So that was really the conversation, like all the stuff that we see in the movie, was it worth showing there to actually pretty much you know bring forth the message of
Yeah.
sexualizing women, what we put on social media and what everybody is seeing.
Hmm.
Now it is very deep because most of, and what's fucked up is like the fact that it was one of those things that you could watch and it was like it's in your face. It's like, whoa, that's fucked up. But honestly, at the same time, I see this shit this day with people doing this shit on TikTok. When people are doing the savage dances, or if they doing the WAP challenge
Yeah.
and doing those moves, like, yo, these are the same moves that these girls was doing. And the
Yeah.
fact that this movie was shot last year, and the fact that this is like now relevant, like where's the holdup? So yeah, that's pretty much the whole craziness of behind the whole cuties. And honestly, everybody has taken sides. And honestly, I had a conversation on my Facebook, which it was like not that many people were feeling it, because like some people was like, I watched it, I understood it, I got it. Some people were just like, I'm disgusted, they are nasty as fuck, I'm not watching it. And then there's people who just ain't gonna watch it, but they heard and saw articles that people talking about what they saw. So let
Yeah.
me ask you, did you end up seeing it, and how you felt about it?
um. Okay. So I did watch it. Um. Because I too heard, the uproar and stuff, but I had already been hearing about it though from before, like in the world that I work in. I hear about a lot of different movies and stuff like that, and sometimes I see them early or whatever. But um, yeah, it was. First, I want to say I got the movie. I understand it. I don't know. I don't know this young director, but it was shot well, and the reason that some people are so upward is because the rawness of the shots, the rawness of the angles, like how they were taken. The camera angles were suggested to put you in those little girls' mind and in that situation, how they were feeling, what they were trying to get across, and it was very raw. And some parts of me were hard to watch. The part in the bathroom that you were referring to when she took the picture of her thing, of her special area, and posted, that was hard for me to watch. The last dance scene was hard for me to watch.
Hmm.
Even when they were practicing and trying, it was hard for me to watch. But that's because I'm a man, and those were little girls, and someone with a lot of nieces is it was just hard for me to watch. I have a niece their age, so I I took from it, like, I understood the message of the story. It was just showing how it was what portrayed in social media and everything that little girls were trying to be, but it was deeper than that. It was a girl trying to hold on to something that she had lost. She had found a new family. Her family was, it was. I don't want to get too far into the whole story, but it was a little girl trying to hold on to something that she lost and trying to find herself and becoming a woman, or trying, or just becoming a new person that she is. And then in the very end, it kind of showed that how she didn't choose this side or that side, but chose her own path. So, but it was. I think it was a great script. The screenwriter did an excellent job, except for a few parts that bugged me the fuck out, like how the fuck was the phone still on all this time. But that shit had me fucked up throughout the movie. But as far as the shots that the people are uproared about, I get why they're mad. I can understand that, but I also get why the director took those shots and those angles. And throughout this story is about little girls, it's about women becoming women, and the stuff that they go through, the stuff that they see online and social media, and their friends that can influence them in the situations that lead them to go down them paths, like the anger that they feel for certain situations and the alienation that they might feel from certain individuals and stuff. So it's like their own path. Those girls chose dancing as an outlet, and they dove headfirst into it. That little girl dove headfirst into it, trying to perfect that. It's little boys who walk down the street, and it's other kids that they want to be like, who are playing basketball, and that's what they dive in themselves into basketball. And even little girls, they dive into other stuff like math and sciences, or even sports. But these little girls happen to choose dancing. That's what the shots was showing, dancing. I thought at first it was going to be like sexual acts happening and shit like that. I thought it was going to be on some of that type of shit, which made me not really want to watch it, because I don't like watching scenes like that with any type of young girls or boys or rape scenes and all that. I just don't like watching that shit. But it wasn't like that. But I understood why people are mad. But they got also understand, like, these are from the aspect of little, those situations happen in life. Like that has happened. That is a true story. That is a real story. Not saying that this particular story is an actual based on a real event, but I'm sure it has happened with little girls who are lost trying to find their way, stumble into something that's a little bit too far over their head, or even if it's not, they were actually practicing working towards something like a goal. And they were looking at the videos and seeing the grown girls, older women doing something that they was aspiring to do and they was working towards that. So it wasn't something that was like too out of the ordinary, bro. I thought it was a normal story, a normal aspect of trying to overcome something and find oneself. And it's just happened to be that some of the scenes and telling the story as raw and as true as that director and writer could tell or wanted to tell, it happened to rub some people the wrong way. And I'm not against Netflix for not taking it down because if that roles were reversed with little boys, and Netflix has had movies with them with little boys who are sexualized or having sex at early ages or going into war and doing all this and killing and murdering people in movies and everything. This is really, I don't know, it's not even that big of a deal other than the shots and how raw it was. And it was little girls. So if you want to have a 2020 where everything's equal and fair, telling that story is fair because that story could really happen. That story could actually happen to any little girls who happen to start down a wrong path based off something that they're going through because they can't recognize their young brains can't recognize what it is. You know what I mean? Like they only see one thing. They only saw a goal at hand that they wanted to accomplish. They
Mhm.
wasn't trying like even the other little girls when like the shit had happened and they wanted to distance themselves away. It was like them showing they still have that innocence. And when that doctor came in, the shaman or whatever came in, and he was trying to see if the main character was evil or not. It showed that scene or whatever, and even he said what he said. It just goes to show like there's still innocence here. It's just showing kids being kids. These are little girls being little girls. The shots may be raw for some people. I wasn't. It made me cringeworthy because it was just like it was a little bit too close. The angles were too close. He was trying to be a little too suggestive or whatever. But it
Mhm.
was like I understood it though. Like women think like boys, little girls think like little boys. Like they're curious. Even like some of the stuff they were saying in there about rape and all that, it was just so off the wall. It was showing their innocence. You feel me? So
Mhm.
in my head, I could see how people say it's a movie built for grown men or women who are doing weird shit. You know what I mean? And they need to take you down for them. But it's a bunch of movies you could take. A pedophile gonna be a pedophile. They can go online and Google some shit or have black sites or pages. Pedophile gonna be a pedophile. You can't like take that down because it is a piece of art, bro. Like it was a solid movie. It was just some parts in there that may be in a little bit too raw for some people, some even for me. But that's just my perspective. Other people might have watched that shit and like I went through that. Like that was me. I was that little girl. I was out there twerking and doing that shit. You feel me? So I don't
Okay.
know. I don't think it was that big of a deal, in my opinion, why everybody's so uproar, but I understood it. I tried to look at it from an open mind perspective, and I think a lot of people need to do that, especially if they want to live in an equal 2020 and understand that little girls are like little boys. They get into mischief, they get into trouble, they're trying to find themselves just like everybody else in the world at some point. So, yeah.